What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the New Film Pod. My name is Jameson. Here with
Spider-Man.
we have Spider-Man, our special guest for today. It has been a while since we've last filmed. Our last video was Bailey Zimmerman, or our
10,000
last,
views, y'all. I don't know how that happened.
or technically our last actual video was the about Scream, the Scream 6
June
short.
7th.
Yeah,
The
sorry,
7th.
Scream 7 breakdown and spoiler review.
Yeah. We said we were
It,
going to do a breakdown. We never did.
yeah, but
We had some videos that we were going to do, like a Spider-Man reaction trailer. The audio got all messed up. And then we are going to do a free agency video about football. That got all screwed up.
it
So,
actually didn't. He was just too lazy to post the damn video. But we're here. I can't. We're here today. We're here today to do a full Spider-Man breakdown for trailer breakdown for Brand New Day. Got a lot of things to talk about. Very excited for this movie, and I think this is going to change the way that the MCU is. And this is the last movie before Avengers Doomsday. So I think there's a lot of stuff that's going to be in this movie that leads into or correlates with Doomsday. So that should be very exciting. Anything you want to add?
nope. Let's get into it, man.
All right, let's get into it, boys. Here we go.
All right, y'all. So yeah, let's dive right into this episode here on Spider-Man Brand New Day. This is going to be 4 years after the events of Spider-Man No Way Home. Like I
Indeed.
said, we had a whole trailer reaction that we reacted to in real time, and it got all screwed up.
Got
The
corrupted.
audio got all messed up. So it was actually a really good video. I actually really liked it, but that's all right. Shit happens. So we're back here. Here 4 years after the events of Spider-Man No Way Home. Here with Peter stuck at the decision on what he's going to do with his life. He's stuck. He's in an apartment by himself, no friends. So, first thing, I want to take a big question from you
Okay.
for the audience.
Love
Which
here.
which Peter Parker has gone through the worst?
Easily, easily, Tom Holland. Now, like, obviously, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man lost Uncle Ben. His parents are dead. All that. Lost his best friend Harry. I mean, he's gone through some shit. Andrew Garfield, same thing. Lost
I
his
think
Uncle
Andrew
Ben.
is the second.
Yeah, no, Andrew. He lost his Uncle Ben. His mother died. His father actually is still alive in a deleted scene. Lost love of his life. Gwen almost saved her. Um, but in the end, couldn't catch her in time. But then Tom Holland, he lost his Aunt May, lost his Uncle Ben. Wasn't ever really. I mean, it was mentioned in Civil War, but never really. It was never showed visually. But yeah, lost Uncle Ben. He lost all his friends due to the Doctor Strange spell. Nobody remembers him. So all his friends, MJ, Ned, all gone. Don't remember him. Lost his mentor in Tony Stark. You know, somebody that he idolized, took him in, pretty much being that father figure um, towards him, dead. So I think Tom Holland's Spider Man has easily had it worse than any of the other.
I agree. I agree with that. I think Andrew's had the second worst with Gwen. Well, I guess like when I said to you, we were talking, and I was shocked when Gwen ended up dying.
Well, I guess Harry became his best friend and became Green Goblin and killed his girlfriend.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
that did happen. So we kick the trailer off with Spider-Man. You good?
yeah. I
Just making sure.
No, I was yawning and I didn't want to like take up the.
Ah, anyway, um, so basically we kick off the trailer. We see Spider-Man or Peter, whatever you want to call him, looking at a Instagram video of MJ and Ned talking about MIT. How you see in Spider-Man No Way Home, they were talking about MIT. Spider-Man was talking to that recruitment lady and trying to get his friends another shot. So we kick it off like that, and then
So yes, and kind of more into this. So yeah, it happened on the bridge where Doc Ock and Green Goblin attacked. But yeah, he was talking to them about that, and he saved her life, and that kind of like persuade her into be like, yeah, I'm gonna get you into MIT, and all three of them got accepted into MIT.
mhm.
Well, we're going to, and then the spell takes place. Sorry, I dropped something. The spell takes place, and nobody remembers Peter, but they still got accepted. He unfortunately did not. And it's almost like he never existed. So any pictures that he was in was blurred out or something was covering his face.
Hmm.
Nobody knows who Peter Parker is. So,
Yep.
and he's gonna try to navigate his way through that in this movie, and his sole focus is being Spider-Man, not
Yes.
being Peter Parker.
Yes, because it's more hard being Peter Parker than it is to be Spider-Man, as we've seen from all those movies in the past. We see
Trying to
Peter.
balance it out.
This suit is kind of more like a comic style, kind of more old-fashioned. He's not using the Stark technology anymore.
It's made of
Obviously,
nylon.
yeah, it's made of nylon, like more of a cloth material. So we're gonna see this suit. I actually really like the style of this suit. It's not my favorite suit, but it's nice. It's not
So,
bad.
and the reason, well, my theory and the reason why he's not using, his Stark suits or his more high tech suits is the AI also doesn't remember who Peter is and why he's forced to, wear these suits. And I kind of like it too because, this is a homemade suit. It doesn't have any of the high tech gadgets that it does. And it's kind of a callback to Homecoming, where,
Yeah,
Iron Man, took the suit from him.
before the Iron suit.
Yes, but the suit that's the suit he got in Civil War, and it was still high tech.
Yes.
Um, but no, it's kind of a callback and to be like, what Tony said: if you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it at all.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it.
And we saw at the end of the movie, he used his homemade suit that he used before Tony gave him the Civil War suit, and he used that suit to beat Vulture on his own, showing that he did not need that. And now we're kind of going. Now this is a more mature Peter Parker, more mature Spider-Man, and it shows that he does not need that high tech. This is 4 years, so he spent 4 years being Spider-Man.
Sorry.
You're an ass. You're an absolute ass. I'm breaking. You see that I'm breaking this down, and you're gonna interrupt me like that? You're just fucking a jerk. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by my co-host, or you're the host. I'm the co-host.
I don't know
It
anymore.
doesn't matter. We're talking about Spider-Man. Um,
Okay, buddy.
no, I lost my train of. What
We were
the?
talking about how Spider-Man came up. He had his new suit before Tony gave him the higher tech suit.
Yeah. So, and he's proving that now. He's been Spider-Man for 4 years, so he's been in his homemade suit for the past 4 years, not relying on the Stark suit. So
Correct.
he's found his way into being Spider-Man.
Correct. So I'm going to talk about how we saw Spider-Man. He was in the beginning of the trailer. He was reading his he was like reading the note that he was not
Wrote for MJ
one he
he,
wrote for MJ
that he was going.
that he was going to give to her and he never did.
Well, the
Um,
note that he's talking about was
mm,
the note at the end of No Way Home when he was in the coffee
yes.
shop and he was gonna tell
Yeah.
her, who he is and try to, um, try to get her to remember who she is and like so she can kind of regain the past memories that she had with him. But he
Yep.
he decided that he saw the scar that he had and the potential danger if she finds out who she is because now she's associated with Spider-Man. That's going to be a whole thing. And he decided, best not to tell her. And I think this is going to play a huge part later into the film. We'll talk about that shortly later into the.
She's still wearing the necklace that Peter gave her in
Yep.
Far From Home.
Mhm.
And in the beginning of the trailer, Spider-Man was like he was upside down, kind of like how Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy were in the Spider-Verse movies, which I've watched like one of them. I don't know if you watched more.
I've watched both of them.
Yeah,
There's only two.
I've watched one of them.
Beyond the Spider Verse,
Beyond
though.
the
That's
Spider-Verse.
the end of the trilogy. It's coming out soon.
Yes.
27, I believe.
So what else? I mean, we see the damage control. What do you think of the damage control?
Oh yeah. So Department of Damage Control. This is another very important thing. So Department of Damage Control, they were actually referenced in No Way Home. They were referenced in Miss Marvel, and then they were
Yeah.
the main antagonists in Wonder Man. If you've not watched that, it's a very great show. It's definitely one of the more it's a more untraditional um Marvel project. It's nothing. It's unlike anything we've ever seen before, and it was I think it was well made. The script was amazing. The way that it all played out, I think I mean, it's definitely deserved a good. It's definitely deserved a watch. But Department of Damage Control, they were the overarching villains of that, and they were trying to arrest Simon Williams, who is Wonder Man, and bring him into their high facility prison, which is where they have some notorious villains that we've maybe seen in the past. We only saw Trevor, who posed as the Mandarin, um,
Mm-hmm.
in Iron Man 3
Mm-hmm.
and in Wonder Man to so he pretty much took the blame for the explosion that happened on the set of Wonder Man, that Simon did with his powers. But pretty much, yeah, they were in there trying to arrest him, and it was actually to get money for their high facility prison. There's a whole thing, but we've seen the Department of Damage Control implemented throughout certain Marvel projects. So yeah, Wonder Man very good, and I think we're gonna see Department of Damage Control in here again.
I
But
think so.
yeah, Wonder Man probably the most ambitious project we've seen yet. I'll let you take it away.
When Peter was, we saw in, I forgot to mention this, but we saw in the beginning of the trailer, after Peter saw the thing from an Instagram post, he jumps down to the on the roofs, and we can see the eyes, kind of like a Tony Stark vision, where we always can see when in every Iron Man movie and Avengers movie we saw Tony Stark's what he's actually seeing inside the mask,
His
and now we
point of view.
see what Spider-Man is seeing in the mask, and I think that's really cool. We never actually saw it before in any Spider-Man movie, but now he has the higher tech, so I think that's gonna be cool to see what his
Higher
perspective.
tech,
Yeah, higher tech than the other Spider-Mans.
but you made it seem like he had the higher
No,
tech.
no, 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 no,
But
no.
yeah, and the way
The
that
other
they
Spider-Man are just fucking Spider-Man, bro.
and the way they had it made it seem very claustrophobic. The way it
Yeah,
was showing like
like this fucking mask
this
is.
is a very like a snippet of his eye, and it kind of just shows him how alone he is. So
Yeah. So it's like Iron Man perspective. I like that. And then we see that Spider-Man has the key to the city.
yes, in the trailer we see Sheila Rivera, who if in Daredevil Born Again is Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin's campaign manager pretty much,
Yeah,
and she advised him things to do, made schedules for him on stuff he had to follow and stuff. So she was pretty much with him throughout that whole time, and we see her handing Spider-Man the key to the city, signaling that she is now the new mayor. So this I think is referencing stuff from Daredevil season 2. Um all the episodes I believe are out. I've only gone to episode 3, so I'm not too informed. Yeah, but I'm guessing that Wilson Fisk is no longer the mayor when Brand New Day takes place. So and we all know that Daredevil, Frank Castle, Punisher, and Spider-Man, they're all in New York. So this is all happening relatively around the same time, and we actually do get kind of a Spider-Man Easter egg drop.
In a spider outfit. Or a guy who wears devil horns to save us.
And during this time too, we know that he has the anti-vigilante task force, um which he has taken out anybody wearing a mask pretending to be a superhero, like we see with White Tiger in Daredevil Born Again, got shot in the head.
just ran by Wilson Fisk.
Yes, he has corrupt cops who pretty much there's no law on, he's given them free reign to kill these people, and well, who are posed to be vigilantes or superheroes. So yeah, this is all taking place around the same time,
Yep.
but from what we see, he's no longer mayor.
And then next part in the trailer I wanted to break down was the Black Symbiote.
It's not actually in the trailer, but I think it's gonna play a part
Yes.
in the movie towards the end.
What most likely will play like more of that like that Venom role.
Black Spider-Man.
We'll see here, and possibly that would be awesome. Would you like to see that?
I think, I mean, they are gonna incorporate that story. I think it's gonna be in Secret Wars. I do not think.
Because he is going to be in Secret Wars.
Yes, he's confirmed to be Tom Holland's confirmed to be in Secret Wars.
Yes.
I don't think he's gonna be in Doomsday, and if he is, it's gonna be a short cameo, like post-credit type thing.
Mhm.
But he is confirmed to be in Secret Wars, and
Yep.
I think that's when we are finally gonna see um Black uh Peter don the Black Symbiote and become Black Spider-Man.
That will be awesome. And then we see him washing his suit like he always he did in Spider-Man, I believe Spider-Man 2, when Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2, or was it either 1 or 2? I think it was 2. He was watching a suit, just leaning back. It looks like his leg was all bruised up.
Yeah,
Guy's been through hell apparently. Um,
but not much of it is protecting him.
yeah, no. So I guess we'll see what happens through the cloth suit.
All right. So yeah, and then actually with Punisher, it's kind of ironic, but Punisher's first ever appearance in any type of Marvel continuity in the comics was actually in Spider-Man issue 129. That is the first time we ever see Punisher. So it's ironic that his first ever appearance was in a Spider-Man comic, and now we see him in this movie. And in that comic, we actually see a certain villain who I'm pretty sure is confirmed to be the main overarching villain in this film, and it's Keith Davidson's character, and we actually hear him narrating through.
He's had such a common voice that you know it's him.
But yeah, we hear his narration throughout the trailer talking about the life cycle of spiders, and so we hear him narrating, and I think it's pretty good chance he is going to be the villain, and he's going to be the villain known as the Jackal. And the Jackal's first ever appearance was in Spider-Man 129, where we first ever see the Punisher. So I think this all kind of
Yeah.
correlates, and I think it takes big inspiration on kind of what's going to happen here. And with the Jackal, we know it's the Clone Saga, and the Jackal has cloned multiple characters, kind of. So we don't even know if this Peter Parker is the real Peter Parker. This
Speaking of Candyman. Yes, you don't know if this is real Peter Parker.
yes. Uh, so we don't know. This could not be the real Peter Parker. I think it is, but I think it's important to mention the Clone Saga, and that plays a very big part, pivotal role, I think, for this movie and the character of the Jackal.
So yeah, speaking on Punisher, actually, this is the first time we're seeing Punisher from escaping the Kingpin prison. So
From the end of
Daredevil Born Again. So obviously you're talking about the Keith David voiceover, who's also like I said, you know his voice from a distance away. But he was talking about the 3 life cycles of a spider. You have the egg, the spiderling, and then you got the adult spider. Obviously, in Spider-Man: Homecoming, and Captain America: Civil War, Peter Parker was the egg, because he was a teenager. He was 14 years old. Now he's a lot older.
In like the middle of
Yeah.
the home series, he was more of a spiderling, starting to figure things out, and now
he's kind of getting that matured age. He's kind of getting older and adulting. So now we're seeing him being that adult spider. Taking place in that, he's starting his evolution, and he's starting to have organic spider webs,
like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
like Tobey Maguire did in Spider-Man 2002. And the fact that I saw in this when I was watching the trailer, it reminded me of Lord of the Rings, because when
With wings.
Frodo and Sam were in that spider, he got torn up in the
Yes,
cocoon.
yes.
So I thought that was a very interesting thought I
He's
had.
a Lord of the Rings nerd. He
Yeah,
knows
I
more
am.
about that. I know more about Marvel. He knows more about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So maybe
So
we'll have to do a Lord of the
I thought
Rings
that was really
video.
cool. You see him passing out, his eyes turning black, going into the I keep thinking Cancun, I meant cocoon.
The cocoon. And the thing with the eyes turning black and the organic web fluid, I don't know if it's gonna be in this movie or if it's gonna happen, but I feel like it's kind of referencing when he in the Spider-Man animated series when he turned into Man Spider,
Mhm.
where he evolved and actually became like pretty much a spider, had the same abilities, but turned into like a spider. Hence the name Man Spider.
Yes.
I don't know if they're going in that route. I don't really think
Yes.
that Dustin, the director, is going in that route.
Mhm.
But
Be cool if he does though.
but yeah, we could be seeing that, or just shows him constantly evolving. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that all plays out in the movie.
You see in the trailer that he went to one of MJ's parties. MJ has a new man. He probably crashed out about that. He probably went home and freaked out, and that's probably what turned him into that real life spider. Peter
Yeah, I
Parker
do
deals with a
believe
lot.
that's probably before that happened.
Yeah,
So it's good that you
probably
mentioned that.
probably before that happens. And then we go to the school. You see Peter's wearing an ESU hoodie, and he approaches Bruce Banner, who was actually talking about quantum physics, what we saw in Avengers Endgame,
Yes, I think.
and Ant-Man Quantumania.
Yeah, and so the thing with so this is all connected into the multiverse, and we know that the quantum realm has to do with um the multiverse and the sacred timeline, whatever that Loki is now holding in place. And I think in Avengers Doomsday, that's the first thing we're gonna see. We're gonna see Doctor
Yeah.
Doom overthrow Loki, who's pretty much the god of the multiverse, and now he's gonna be controlling the multiverse.
Yes.
And that's
Um,
how in the trailers we kind of see it from somebody's like we kind of see it like from a drone view, but more so it's like somebody's watching that through the timelines, which I think is Doctor Doom.
yeah.
Um, but back to what I was saying. What was I talking about?
We were talking about Bruce
Oh yeah,
Banner.
Bruce Banner. Thank you. So yeah, we see him approach Bruce Banner. First time that we're seeing him since the god awful
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk
I didn't even watch that
show,
show,
and
so
it's
he
good
knows
that you
more.
don't, because that show is terrible. It's really bad. Bad
So, guys,
directing.
right now, not to cut you off, but right now
Yeah, I do the same thing.
I'm watching the entire MCU in order. I've already watched like some multiple movies, but now I'm watching the entire thing in order. So I'm fully prepared for Avengers Doomsday. I'm even watching the stupid fucking What If show, She-Hulk,
No,
Hawkeye,
no, you're not gonna watch What If, are you?
Loki. I'm gonna watch it all, man.
Dude, What If has nothing to do with.
So yeah. Anyway, we see Bruce Banner, and Bruce has like an inhibitor on his wrist.
Thanks for stealing my
Um,
thunder.
go jump into
No,
it.
you're already there,
He has
sir.
an inhibitor, so it kind of makes him not turn into that um Hulk character.
This is gonna be the
And
first time we're gonna see Savage Hulk
yes,
back. Last time we saw him was in Infinity War when he
when the
got
way
his ass
beginning, yeah,
kicked
by Thanos.
by Thanos.
There's always a question: what if Hulk won that fight?
He wasn't winning that fight.
Yeah.
It could be a good What If episode.
Um, yeah, but we haven't seen Savage Hulk in a minute. And here's a cool thought: Hulk knows who Peter Parker is, but Bruce Banner does not.
So yeah, yes and no. I think so. They really never met,
Yeah, they haven't really met. They
but
talked about each. Bruce talked about he was like there's Spider-Man and Ant-Man, but they never really met.
right. But so saying that Spider-Man and Hulk technically wasn't. He was Bruce when he said that.
Yeah, he
So
was Bruce.
so Hulk was still kind of within him, so he might have overheard that, and so I think somehow, some way, Hulk is gonna remember because there was a comic where something similar happened, and nobody remembered who Peter Parker was except
Hmm.
Hulk. Hulk remembered who he was.
Hulk could help hopefully bring this all back together and
Well, I don't know, but Peter might
I
have.
know Peter Parker.
Don't ever do that again.
Okay.
Um, but no, I think Hulk will kind of be there to aid Peter in a way, and they actually in the comics have a very good friendship.
Do they? Okay.
Yes, so I think this is perfect to kind of see them um with one another and kind of see how their dynamic is. You can take it away.
You want to talk about his son?
No, we don't need to talk about Scar.
Well, maybe Scar will make an appearance to this.
No, well, if anybody knows the Planet Hulk saga, we know that he goes to he's actually sorry, I had a burp. He's exiled from Earth,
Yeah.
goes to his planet. Well, actually, he kind of like fucks up the ship's um GPS on where it goes, and he ends up on this planet and pretty much becomes the ruler of this planet. Has a kid, um, which is Scar. And when we see at the end of She-Hulk, we actually see Bruce on a ship in She-Hulk, showing that he's going to somewhere. And
Yeah. Like I said, you watched it. I didn't. I probably will. Probably not gonna enjoy it because you don't like it. And you like every Marvel movie and show.
no, within reason. There's some
Yeah.
really bad ones, like Quantum Mania, Dark World, Ant-Man and the Wasp. In my personal
Really?
opinion,
You didn't like it?
it's good, but it's not like,
It's not like Spider-Man: Homecoming.
huh?
It's not like Spider-Man: Homecoming. It's not like fucking Iron Man 3. It's not like those top tier.
I wouldn't say Iron Man 3 is a top tier film. I think it's
I
good.
really liked Iron Man 3.
No, I don't get me wrong. I think Iron Man 3 is highly underrated. I do think it's better than um
Thor: The Dark World.
yes, and I think it's better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't think it's like high tier like
No,
top 15 Marvel movie.
Yeah, Iron Man 2. Iron Man
We're
2
gonna
is
have to
probably
do
better.
when you're done. We're gonna do a tier list of all the Marvel movies,
All right.
and we're gonna rank them.
Okay. Awesome.
That's what we're gonna do.
So 2 videos in one day.
Nope. Continue.
Anyway, yes, so we were talking about that. And I want to jump into Sadie Sink. What character do you think she's going to be playing?
Oh God. So I can probably go on and on about this,
Okay,
but
well, we'll not go on and on. We'll just what's your personal thought, your personal opinion? Because you read the comics, you're a comic nerd. Who do you think Sadie Sink's gonna play?
so there are multiple theories on characters that she's gonna play. I think that I think she's gonna play Jean Grey. I really don't want her to. There's another character that she could be playing. I don't know her name. What did we write?
Typhoid Mary?
Huh?
Typhoid Mary?
Yes, Typhoid Mary, who has similar abilities, and we see that during this film that she's controlling like some old lady in the tank,
Yep. The
control
soldiers too.
controlling soldiers, and we know that Jean Grey has telekinesis or telepathic powers, and she can do that and go in and tap into people's minds. Or it could be Mary. I don't know this character actually, believe it or not.
She was in the comic.
Typhoid Mary.
Yeah. Typhoid Mary.
Typhoid Mary. So they have similar abilities. I think she could be Jean Grey, but I think it's closer to um whatever the fuck that character's name is. I don't know who she is.
Yeah, we did some research about kind of characters she might be playing, and she came up.
So, but I really don't want her to be Jean Grey. She doesn't really fit the MO. And no, it's not just because she doesn't look like her, but I wouldn't want her to be Jean Grey.
She dyes her hair.
Yes, but she just doesn't give off Jean Grey vibes to me, in my opinion.
She does Max Mayfield vibes.
Yes, yes. Stranger
Okay.
Things nerd over here. But that's not what we're talking about. But I guess I could have said we weren't talking about Lord of the Rings, but here we are.
Or Candyman.
Or Candyman, but yeah, yeah. But also there's another. But we know that Marvel's heading into the mutant saga. I think there are some mutant references, and we do see somebody when Spider-Man is holding on to the tank, and that's the old lady who's controlling it. When he's swinging onto it, we see him hit a bus, and there's a Jets fan. Go Jets, because I'm a Jets fan, but we're not here to talk about how bad the Jets are. Maybe in one of our football videos, we can
September.
dive into that. But we see a girl or like a teenager listening to music, and she has two different type of hair colors. She has white and black. And for any of you diehard X-Men fans out there, I believe that is Rogue, and that is
Could be. Could very well be.
another Omega level mutant, just like Jean, and she can pretty much she touches you. If she touches you, she can um pretty much use your powers or your mutations.
Mm-hmm.
She like doesn't absorb, like she doesn't like she um sorry, brain fart. She primarily disables or takes your powers for a minute, not permanently, but through that time she can use that.
Yeah.
So
I
I
think that's
think
really
that was
cool.
cool that we saw an Easter egg. I think that's Rogue.
You know who else we saw? Michael Mando's Scorpion,
Yes, that is a good lead
who
into that.
we first seen since he was actually in Spider-Man: Homecoming. He was on the ferry, and then he was in the end credit scene with the Vulture. He was talking to the Vulture. Vulture was like, "I heard you know who he is," and then Vulture was like, "If I knew who he was, he'd already be dead."
Yep, and then they ruined Vulture's character because he somehow ended up in the Sonyverse with Morbius.
Yes.
And
Oh.
for any of you who know that fucking shit show of a universe, you know it's pretty bad. So
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. I hope it's not canon. And
Scorpion looks so cool, and this looks like high tech. It looks very
if
very
any
awesome.
of you are, I won't get back to that. I know I interrupted you. And if any of you like Morbius, then let me hit you with this. It's Morbin time. All right, continue.
A lot of clap laughter in the background, so you get a little audience.
A laugh track.
So you get a little audience. You want to talk about Tombstone?
But you were still talking about Marco.
Okay, yes, you're right.
Scorpion.
The Scorpion, it looks awesome. Very high tech. It's like they use the pieces from the Vulture's tech he was using.
Shockers.
Shocker, yeah, the shot. I'm the Shocker.
I'm the Shocker.
Yeah. So I definitely think that's gonna play a big role. Him and Spider-Man's fight, you can see a little bit in the trailer. A lot of clip in there. But honestly, yeah, that's gonna be really cool. I think Scorpion's gonna obviously be one of the big bads in this movie, and the Jackal, probably the two villains here in this movie.
I think he's working for the Jackal.
Probably is. I think that'd be really cool if he was. But yeah, we saw him in the comics a little bit. And now we're seeing him in person. You see that scar he had on his face, and then his tattoo, he had the scorpion tattoo.
Yep.
So you could tell in the future he was going to play Scorpion eventually. But you want to talk about more about that? You want to talk about the next
So yeah,
topic?
Tombstone. We know that it's confirmed that Tombstone is also going to be in this film, and he is another classic Spider-Man villain. So we're pretty much getting a decent look at Spider-Man's rogue
Yeah.
gallery. But he's a mob boss in the universe. Um, so I don't know how they're going to incorporate him into this film. But I think it's something it's good to mention. We're also going to see the Hand. This
Yes.
is yet again um another tease to
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too.
yeah, so this is like another kind of like crossover from Daredevil and Spider-Man. So
Mhm.
we see and we know that the Hand is, you know, a ninja like assassin organization that is constantly in Daredevil. So to see them now in this film, and Daredevil could potentially be in this film, and we know we
Yeah.
saw Matt Murdock in No Way Home as his lawyer. I mean, caught the brick and said, "I'm a really good lawyer." So that was the first time we actually
Yeah, that was
thought that
cool.
the Netflix series is canon with the MCU.
I was in the theater and I remember the audience going crazy for
Yeah,
that.
so it's canonically. I don't know how to say the word.
Was he even the cast for that movie?
Yeah.
People
Well,
knew he was going to be in it,
no, they did not.
so it was a surprise.
It
Okay.
was a surprise. I lost my shit when I saw
Yeah, people in the theater were going
Matt
nuts.
Murdock. And you're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, because I didn't watch it. I was like, why is everyone cheering about some random lawyer? And then I finally realized after.
Um,
Um,
but
yeah.
yeah. So Daredevil could make a potential
In
appearance.
that scene where we see him fighting all the ninjas.
Yeah, because we know so it doesn't show anybody, but you see, there's like a shimmer of like somebody that would be
Could just be someone in
there,
that scene.
and we saw that in the No Way Home trailer where Andrew Garfield's character kicked Lizard. We saw that there was somebody kind of there. But they take that out with
Marvel
the
does
trailers.
that. They're good like that.
Yeah, they are. So they don't give away everything in the trailers.
Yeah.
Um, but no,
Most likely it will be Daredevil if someone's in that frame. 100%.
yes. So
Um,
and there could be other references to other Spider-Man villains. I think there might be Inner Demons reference, which is another organization ran by Mr. Negative, who is another big time threat. So they're kind of going in depth with all the Spider-Man's rogues gallery. This is really like a grounded Spider-Man film, which is how Spider-Man really should be. He shouldn't be in like these multiversal movies. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's cool and
yeah, I know you were not a
insane.
big fan of Spider-Man No Way
I
Home.
really wasn't. I really felt like it was fan service. I'm sorry. I don't know.
It'd be a hot take.
No, I mean at first it was good, like
Yeah.
holy shit. We got Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin,
Doc Ock, you got the Lizard, you got
we got Jamie Foxx's
yeah,
Electro, That's cool and all. But after you got to after you have time to let it marinate, you're like really wasn't.
Was it the best Spider-Man movie you ever seen?
No.
What is?
I really I really like the first Tobey Spider-Man to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's a good one.
Second one maybe. That I don't know. The No Way Home, the Homecoming series
Was
was
Toby your favorite Spider-Man?
that's a good one. I don't have an answer for that yet.
See after this movie, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Tom Holland is the future for the MCU.
Yeah, of course.
But no, I really don't. I didn't really care for No Way Home after. It really just felt like a whole bunch of fan service, and I think a lot of people agree with
I
me.
thought Homecoming was better. I don't know
Yeah.
why I say
No,
listen.
because Homecoming is the
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man
yes,
effect.
it's the only other grounded Spider-Man film that we've had. Um, and it felt more like a Spider-Man film, and I don't think it gets enough appreciation. I think it's really good. That's the Spider-Man that we should have seen throughout that series that we are now kind of gonna get.
Like that movie was fun.
This is 10 years later though.
Wow,
it was fun.
Was it 10 years ago?
Yeah. So this is a more
Old.
mature Spider-Man.
Yeah. All right, but next thing I want to dive into is Peter and MJ. You see them at a rooftop. It was very very likely he was saving her or something. He dropped
I
her
think
off.
she has some like recollection that she
He's like, yeah, maybe I've known you
relationship
before.
with
You
Spider-Man.
could see at the coffee shop, she was kind of looking at him like, wait, I feel like I've known him.
And he said something that she once said in one of the films
Yeah.
that
When
said,
when you're come disappointed, expect disappointment or something
yes,
like that.
how the fuck did you? I didn't
I
even
don't
know
know
that.
how I remember
How
that.
did you remember that?
How did I
Yes.
remember that? Jameson didn't remember. I
You
don't know.
expect disappointment, and she agreed,
She got
but
disappointment.
but she also was like, how does he like? So she kind of had like a little realization about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it was like I think he probably saved her or something. He was like dropping her off, kind of like how Tobey Maguire did in Spider-Man 1 with Mary Jane, and she was like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "You know who I am." It's probably gonna be like a little similar, maybe not, but it might be a little similar
Call
to that.
back.
Yeah, a little callback about that. The last scene we hear get in the trailer, we see MJ moved in next to Peter. Peter's dropping off flowers, or maybe Peter's just stalking her. We don't know.
Pulling a
Um,
little Joe Goldberg
Joe
from
Goldberg from the hit series You on Netflix. Very good show. You guys should check it out. Um, but yeah,
I think that wraps it up.
that wraps it up. But yeah, she was like, you're a neighbor. And he was like, friendly neighbor. He like choked up a little bit about it. But that should wrap it up for this episode here on the podcast.
First film since the Bailey Zimmerman concert that I
Our
actually
first,
wasn't even involved in.
our
First,
first breakdown since It Woke in a Dairy. Which are we taking a break from?
we will be going back to that series, but I think
Probably closer to like season 2 when season 2 comes out.
this is stuff that's kind of more important.
More like what now stuff. That was
Absolutely.
yeah.
So I think that's all we got. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I do not. Next video we got for you guys will probably be that Avengers tier ranking. If you want to do that.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Yeah, we'll do that next.
We can, or if there is a Avengers Doomsday trailer that comes out,
We'll see.
hopefully sometime.
Some leaks are coming out, but I'm
No,
not trying to
there's no
I'm not trying to watch any
There's no
right now.
leaks.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for us here on the Real Film Pod. Lucas back with Jameson, and we are finally back after a long break.
Long hiatus because this guy wanted to go to Miami.
Yeah, I was in Miami having
Nobody
a
needs to add that. Nobody needs to
great
know,
time.
but we're telling them.
Well, they don't need to know anyway.
All right,
So that's gonna do it, everyone. Sorry for these long fucking intros and outros, but you know that's how we do it here on the channel.
Yes,
So
sir.
we will catch you guys in Spider-Man here on the next one.
Deuces.